Hey, what's up, future homeowners? So, if you are looking to purchase a home in the near future, you have probably heard at one point in time that you don't need a realtor to buy a house. Well, I'm here today to tell you that that is a total myth, that it is advantageous for you to use a realtor when it comes to purchasing a home. And if you stick around, I'll break down 5 reasons why you should be working with an agent when it comes to making a home purchase, especially if you're a first time home buyer. What's up again? My name is Ligaya Thompson. I am a local Austin realtor. If you've been coming around to my channel, thank you so much for keeping up with me. And if this is your first time here, give me a like and a subscribe and keep in touch with me because I do put out information for the Austin real estate market, and I just want to be able to be a resource to you whenever you're ready to make your next transaction in the real estate world. So once again, I am going to talk to you guys today about reasons why you should be working with a realtor when it comes to purchasing a home. Now, I do know people that have gone without using a realtor when it comes to purchasing a home, and some of the stories I have heard, some of them I'm like, whoa, I would have never done that, and some of them, they weren't too bad. But I mean, it could be because they were going with a home builder and they decided not to use an agent, or they went directly for sale by owner and they decided not to use an agent. Regardless, though, you really need to make sure you have someone that can represent you on your behalf. If you watched my video about purchasing a new construction home, I did stress the fact that if you're working with a home builder agent represents the builder and a realtor will represent you. So you want to have someone there that is going to advocate for you and speak for you on your behalf. Same thing if you are a buyer and you're working directly with a for sale by owner. Well, you don't know if this for sale by owner has had experience in selling their own property. They may or they may have not. But regardless, you do want to make sure that you have someone that's going to be able to guide you through it and just make sure that you're getting a fair price and that everything is being disclosed, and that you're not being taken advantage of, because unfortunately there are people out there that will take advantage of a situation, and I don't want that to be you when it comes to buying your first house. Now let's start with reason number one as to why you should be working with an agent when it comes to purchasing a home, and that being an agent, a realtor, will provide expert advice and guidance. Now, the key word there is expert. So, unless you have a real estate license or you have experience buying or selling real estate in the past, chances are you do not understand all of the complexities when it comes to making a home purchase. It is a very thorough process, and it's a lot more than just looking at a house and giving a number. There's a lot of documentation that's involved. There's a lot you want to know about the market that you're buying into, what's happening in the market right now. If you are in an extreme seller's market like we were in the past, you definitely want to have somebody that has your back and that can help you just negotiate through the process. But the expert guidance and advice, it's just a little bit more than, hey, here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. A realtor will really help you understand the neighborhood, what's happening in the area, what's going on with the HOA. They will go through the contract with you and just look at the property itself and say, like, hey, this property might be overpriced. I would come in here. I mean, there's a lot. It's a lot to list, because we do a lot more than just opening a door and putting in a contract. We have vendor lists. There is going to be times where you're going to need more than just a general inspection. You'll probably need a roof inspection or a foundation inspection. It just really depends. If you're an investor, you're definitely going to need a list of inspectors if this is your first time investing. But again, I can go on and on about the different things that come with the home buying process, but that's what a realtor is there to do. They're just there to give you advice and guidance. Now, at the end of the day, you as the buyer, you make the call on what you want to do and how you want to purchase the house, what you want to make an offer on. It is your call 100%, and your agent will go with what you want to do if you are 100% okay with that. but we are still going to make sure you know all your options and you're aware and you have all the disclosures that you need to help you make a really sound decision on your investment. Because a home purchase is not a small purchase. It's not like buying a car. It is a big investment, especially if you are in higher end properties. It is a big investment, and it is not an investment that you will make so many times in your life. Some people buy one home, some people buy more than one. But regardless, when it comes to purchasing a home, one thing that wasn't disclosed or wasn't properly addressed when it comes to that home purchase could just be a domino effect into other things that could take place in the future. So a realtor is there to just really guide you and give you advice through the process and share their expertise, share their insight to what's happening on the market, share the information they know about the area that you're moving into, and then just share their resources that they have when it comes to this particular property and putting in an offer on it and making sure you get through the inspections and the escrow process. And that is reason number one, the expert guidance and advice. Reason number two, so realtors do have access to exclusive listings. Now, not everything you see on Zillow.com and Realtor.com and all of those other places are actually accurate information, and it's a fraction of what is actually listed on the market for sale. So websites like the one that I mentioned before, they might show that they have listings that you can entertain, and yes, some of them are listings that are actually available for sale because realtors do use those as another resource, but not all of them are accurate listings, especially if it could be listed as a for sale by owner. So realtors, they have access to exclusive listings. But before I get into exclusive listings, let's explain. So realtors use what is called the MLS, Multiple Listing Service. That is what MLS stands for. And that's where we go for the Austin area, and we list every property that is for sale. It has all the information you need to know about the property, any disclosures that are available, the specs on the property, how much or how big the lot is, what is the estimated tax rate? Is it in a HOA? It has all of that information that might not be available to the public. So realtors have the MLS that they use, but then outside of the MLS, there is also exclusive listings where there are properties that are listed off the market, especially once you start going into like the luxury or the higher end. There's a lot of properties that aren't necessarily on the market. But we have access to those things. We have a network. We talk to each other. We talk to other agents. And, you could be in a scenario where you are looking for a specific house, and this specific house is what everybody else is looking for as well. So it's really hard for you to put an offer on a home that hits the market because it goes right away. Well, in some cases, a realtor might say, hey, I know an agent that's going to have a listing coming up in this neighborhood, the neighborhood that you like perhaps, and they have a listing coming up in this neighborhood, and the owner is entertaining the idea of taking offers before it even hits the market. So there's your chance at scooping up a home and beating out the rest of the competition, because once it goes on the MLS, everybody sees it that's working with an agent, and then you have that much more competition to deal with. The other thing realtors do outside of exclusive listing is they do look for listings for you. And I'll give you an example. So back in 2021, it was an extreme seller's market, and I was working with a buyer that was in a pretty decent price point at the time. And I mean, with the criteria that they had in a home and the price point they were in, I mean, there was literally like 30 homes on the market that matched what they wanted in the Austin area. Now, again, this was an extreme seller's market. We were dealing with less than a month of inventory at the time. And so what I did for my buyer was I started to call homeowners in the neighborhoods that I knew that they were interested in. And I was calling them, hey, I have a buyer that wants to buy into your area. Do you want to sell? Have you thought about selling? And we did actually come across an opportunity for a seller. And so this guy was interested in selling his home. We went by there, we toured the property. He gave us a number and we tried to negotiate something and work something out, but he was being a little bit too unrealistic. And so I was able to just be the liaison between the buyer and the seller and just say like, no, this is what we can ask for the property. This is where our limit is, and we walked and the buyer was okay. They ended up buying another property within a couple of weeks. We found something that worked for them. But that's just a story of some of the things that agents will do for you is they will go out of their way and they will look for a seller if there are no sellers that fit your criteria. So reason number 2 why you should work with an agent is the exclusivity to listings. Reason number 3 to work with an agent is having someone that is a skilled negotiator. So, unless you have been practicing real estate actively, you probably do not know how to negotiate your way through a home buying process. So, from the time your buyer's agent picks up that phone and calls the listing agent and says, "Hey, I have a client and he's interested in your property," the negotiation has already started, guys. Everything is a negotiation at that point. So you have to be really careful what you say, what you disclose, because you don't want to put all your cards on the table and then give up the fact that you can do everything you want to secure this house. I mean, even if you as a buyer told me, do whatever you need to make sure I get this house, I'm not going to go to the listing agent and say, whatever my buyer needs, he wants this house, because that's not necessarily the best negotiation tactic in a lot of scenarios. So you just want to make sure that you have someone that is able to really guide you through the negotiation process. Now, once you put in an offer, the negotiation doesn't stop there. Negotiation goes all the way down to the closing line. I have seen scenarios where it comes down to, closing day, where there's still things being negotiated. There's still amendments getting signed because something came up and they have to negotiate this, or else the buyer is going to walk, or else, we can't sell the property. So, just having a good negotiator on your side to help you, negotiate the deal. Now, there's times where my buyers have gone under contract, and during option period, we've uncovered, something in the house, and it could be a HVAC, it could be a foundation issue, it could just be like, a crack on the wall or a paint job that needs to be done or something like that. And the buyer will look at me and say, "What do you recommend?" And, I give my advice and I'll say, based off of this, or based off of what we know of the house, or based off of our findings, I would recommend X, Y, and Z. And going back to, you are the ultimate, you have the ultimate say, you have the final say in what you want to do when it comes to negotiation. So if you're okay with paying for the repair, or if you're not, I mean, the buyer agent is there to really be able to speak on your behalf and say, "Hey, we found this under option period," or "We found this while we were doing this inspection, and please consider this. Please consider this." And then the negotiations go back and forth. Now, a lot of times, sellers will counter to what you offer in your negotiation, or to what you offer in your initial offer. And that's completely normal, but you just want to have someone that's not afraid to just turn it around and say, "Okay, this is what we're going to counter back at. Okay, this is what we're going to say." Um, you know, the other thing too is putting in the offer is a big deal, because I have received offers as a listing agent. I have received offers where I don't get lender information. I don't get pre-approval letters. I don't even know if this person has the cash on hand to close if they say they do. And so those are things that, agents will do for you. A good agent will do for you when you put in an offer. They're going to say, "Okay, now let me talk to your lender, put me in touch, give me your pre-approval letter." Because when I submit offers for my buyers, I like to, one, submit the pre-approval letter, show the proof of funds, get the lender involved. That way, when we start the negotiation process, and if we're going back and forth and it's something that involves financing, the lender can chime in, I can chime in, and it really helps move a deal along faster not necessarily faster, but it really just helps move a deal along, because, you're communicating, you're showing the other side that, you can communicate effectively, and you are good to close, and you have what it takes to get the deal done. The qualifications is what I'm referring to. So having someone that is skilled in the negotiation process is another reason why you should be hiring a realtor when it comes to purchasing your first home. Okay, and reason number 4, legal protection and guidance. So as you can see, the word guidance, it's been thrown out a lot in this video, because that's a realtor. They are a guide for you. They help you through this process. And a part of the process is just understanding the contract. So in the Texas 1-4 single family residential contract, there's a lot of terms that are listed. There's a lot of deadlines that need to be met. And that is your agent's job right there to make sure they say, hey, make sure by this day, this gets delivered or you will lose your earnest money. Or make sure by this day, we have this or you will lose your earnest money. Like, you don't want to lose your earnest money. I have heard of scenarios where people have tried to purchase a home without using an agent. They've tried to represent themselves. They've lost their earnest money, or they have a experienced investor that is selling their house by themselves, and they throw at them a residential 1-4 contract, because you can go download the residential 1-4 contract from the TREC website and use it, but it doesn't necessarily mean you understand how it works. So I've had people that have called me after the fact that they've gone under contract on a property without using representation, and they've said, can you explain what paragraph 6 means to me? Well, they don't even call it paragraph 6, but they'll say, can you explain what this means to me right here? Because I'm working with a seller and this is the situation I'm in. And then all of a sudden they want to play catch up to what's going on in their transaction and ask for help. Unfortunately, whether I can help you or not, you might be too far into the process to even, renegotiate something or ask for something. I mean, we might be out of option period, or you just might be in a position to where if you don't get this done by this date, you're going to lose your option. You're going to lose your earnest money. So, having that legal guidance and protection is another thing that a realtor can do for you. Now, there are scenarios where you will need legal counsel. It really all depends on the type of transaction that you're doing here, but it's not unheard of to get a real estate attorney involved when it comes to doing a contract. So at times, if that scenario does come up, your realtor will have someone that they have worked with in the past, or they can recommend you, their broker can recommend. That is just one less thing that you're going to have to worry about when it comes to looking for who's going to help me from the legal side. A realtor will go through the single family 1-4 contract with you. They'll go through all the addendums with you. And in that contract, there's a lot of outs for the buyer as well. So they will share with you like, hey, I know it says this, but just letting you know by this date, if we don't get X, Y, and Z, you can back away from this property. Or when we do get X, Y, and Z, you have 5 days to review the document and back away from this property if you want. So then it's just reason number 4 as to why you should work with a realtor is providing the legal advice and guidance on purchasing a home. And reason number 5 as to why you should be working with a realtor is that realtors do provide the peace of mind and support that you need when it comes to purchasing a home. So outside of your family that's going to be really excited for you once you close on this property, your realtor will also be your next cheerleader. So they're going to make sure that you really understand the home buying process, what to expect from it. They're going to guide you through understanding the 1-4 contract. They're going to do all the negotiations for you. They're going to communicate with the HOA for you. They're going to communicate with the seller or the listing agent for you. They're going to do a lot of that for you. They're going to put you in touch with a lot of their vendors and contractors that they've used before. They're going to basically take all the heavy lifting off of your plate. So the only thing that you can focus on is getting to the closing table and getting the keys and moving into your house. So if you think you don't need a realtor when it comes to purchasing a home, think again. Consider everything a realtor will do for you when it comes to making a home purchase. And just to recap, guys, so 5 reasons why you should hire a realtor when it comes to purchasing your first home is reason number 1, the expert guidance and advice. Reason number 2, access to exclusive listings. Reason number 3, they're skilled negotiators. Reason number 4, the legal protection and guidance. And reason number 5, the peace of mind and support. And those are just highlights of things that realtors do for you. There's a lot more that we can do when it comes down to the home buying process. And if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about the home buying process, you can contact me. All of my contact information is below. We can sit down and have a consultation at no charge at what the home buying process looks like and how we can set your goals and help you purchase a home by whatever time you'll be ready to purchase a house. Again, I'm Ligaya Thompson. I am a local Austin realtor, and I hope you found this information valuable. Please give me a like and a subscribe and keep in touch with me. I want to know about your home journey and how I can help you and be a resource to you when it comes to, making that next move in your life. And so there you have it, 5 reasons why you should be hiring a realtor when you make a home purchase. If there's any questions you have, guys, reach out to me. Don't be a stranger. I do look forward to hearing from you. Bye, everybody.